In 1986, 1 year after the release of the NES system in the United States of America, Shigeru Miyamoto releases his grand opus, in my opinion, The Legend of Zelda. The Legend of Zelda is the first game in the Zelda series that was created by one of Nintendo's most brilliant minds, Shigeru Miyamoto. It is a magnus opus, in my opinion. As you can see, all of these items on the screen here. The Legend of Zelda was the first game to really take on the 8-bit era from a different perspective, instead of just the basic side-scrolling thing. It's kind of the first of the Metroidvania. Release date of Metroid.
August 6, 1986.
Release date of The Legend of Zelda.
According to Wikipedia, The Legend of Zelda, the first game of the series, was first released in Japan in February 1986 on the Famicom Disk System.
So, The Legend of Zelda was really the first in the kind of Metroidvania open world exploration type games, at least on the Nintendo. There were some kind of games like this on Atari, like that crazy haunted house game. I can't remember exactly what it is. But on the Nintendo, The Legend of Zelda was kind of the first really huge open world game that just had so many amazing different little intricacies to it that you wouldn't normally see in a video game. Straight out the bag, you get Link, the main character that you're playing as. Link is a hero, we'll say a hero of time. He needs to gather the pieces of the Triforce, okay? And he needs to save Princess Zelda. This is all coming from a very basic gamer's perspective. I don't do really any crazy in-depth stuff on here, except for the kind of knowledge that I know growing up experiencing the games, and that's how I'm gonna keep these videos. So with that being said, you know, you got this guy, he's got a sword, you're going against these enemies, but it's really expansive, okay? And you have all these secret hidden caves and, you know, different little upgrades that you get that lead to different things. I would say a game like Gauntlet that came a little bit after. What year was Gauntlet released?
1985. According to Wikipedia, Gauntlet is a 1985 fantasy-themed hack-and-slash arcade video game developed and released by Atari Games. It is one of the first multiplayer dungeon crawl arcade games.
Wow.
I said, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
Well, they're similar, right? Like, this is I didn't know that Gauntlet came out before Zelda. That's a little, that blows my mind a little bit. I'm not saying that Zelda ripped off Gauntlet, because they're clearly different games. Shigeru Miyamoto spent a lot of time going out into the woods, exploring as a kid, finding caves, finding secret entrances to caves, and yeah, I think he said something about a tree that he could go inside that was hollowed out that he found. You know, stuff like that that he basically put right into Zelda, you know, and there's a lot of Japanese lore in all of the Zelda series, and it actually ramps up over time. You see a little bit more and more of that kind of Japanese lore within all the games in the series. We'll talk about those games though another time too, because we're not going to get too far into talking about games that we're not talking about here today. Yay! Yay. Now, in keeping with our Nintendo Power theme of this whole series, there was no Nintendo Power released for the original Legend of Zelda. There was one that came later on that I have, that it's the second quest. It wasn't until Zelda 2 came out that an official Nintendo Power was made for Zelda, as the original Legend of Zelda was released in 1986, and I do believe that the first episode of Nintendo Power was Super Mario Bros. 2, and it was released in 1988, I do believe. I'll have to check the dates. Later games in the series, like Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past, which is actually the first real true sequel for The Legend of Zelda, that was released for the Super NES. That game got an incredible Nintendo power. My perspective on playing this game when I was real young, it was a lot of fun, and I never beat it. I was not that good of a gamer. I'm probably about as good of a gamer as I am doing this sort of thing and researching. I do remember having an incredibly good time playing this game. It was like a slow love affair with The Legend of Zelda over the years. This game, I was like, oh, okay, this is awesome. And then I never played Zelda 2. Some people say it's good. I can't even look at the thing. I don't know what it is. Can't look at it. A Link to the Past. I absolutely fell in love with Zelda. And then by the time we got to Ocarina, it just consumed me. I remember when I got Ocarina of Time, I played that game until it was done. With that being said, this game, to this day, is an enjoyable experience. As you can see, secrets abound, and it really was the first game to kind of encapsulate that, you know, break this bush, and here's some stairs, or push this block, and here's a secret door. It took that experience of exploration to just another level. Anyways, do me a favor and
Please subscribe, please